Biden expected to take a victory lap and boast about how wonderful of a job he's done during tomorrow's State of the Union. Here's just a little preview of the coming attractions.
Are you taking blame for inflation? No.
Why not?
Because it was already there when I got here, man. Remember what the economy was like when I got here? Jobs were hemorrhaging. Inflation was rising. We weren't manufacturing a damn thing here. We were in real economic difficulty. That's why I don't.
But the verdict is already in on the Biden economy. A record number of Americans, 41%, say they're financially worse off since the big guy came into office, except maybe Hunter and his booming art business. And with numbers that bad, the spinmeisters in the administration are having a tough time. Watch as Mayor Pete struggles to list any Biden accomplishments.
Let's go to the president's State of the Union. Look, he's got a lot of things to tout. Why do you think that it has not penetrated the American public?
Well, these things don't sell themselves, and it's one of the reasons I'm really looking forward to that State of the Union address. I will say that there have been so many accomplishments under this administration, it can be difficult to list them in a distilled way.
It's like when a woman asks you, you know, there's just so many reasons I can't even list. Where to begin? That never happens to me.
No, never. He says inflation is already here. It was already here. That's like starting a 7-alarm fire and then saying, well, there was a Duraflame already in the fireplace. So that's ridiculous. And it just, I mean, the only people apparently that are doing well in the Biden economy is Biden's family.
Yeah.
I mean, it is incredible. I guess like they're not going to say who's buying these $500,000 paintings. I don't blame them because it probably is somebody unsavory. But
yeah, the Chinese.
Yeah, he's very lucky. Biden presidency came about at the perfect time. We have a frantically distracted population. If he became president in the 80s and the 70s, when I think he tried to run, he would have been even more of a disaster because there were fewer, cheaper escapes from your daily trials. If you could say, oh my God, these eggs cost a lot, but then you can go back to scrolling on TikTok or popping an edible, and it's not so bad. We've made so much progress in society in terms of tech and leisure that a recession is actually less felt because we've numbed ourselves. We've numbed ourselves against so much misery that maybe we'll just endure it. It's kind of sad, but it's also progress.
Things are so bad that Greg's edibles now cost less than a dozen eggs.
That's amazing. Can you make an omelet with edibles?
I would not try to do that.
Okay. Well, if you do, you get back to us and see how it is.
What do you expect tomorrow?
Well, I think there's been a flurry of bad polling for the Biden team, even though they don't like to admit it. In fact, today, Brian Deese, who's on his way out as the economic director there, he said that the ABC poll showed that 2/3 of Americans said that circumstances are better. That's not what that poll said. 16% of people said that their circumstances are better. And what Mayor Pete just said was, well, we just have to communicate better. It is not a communications problem. And I think what you'll see is tomorrow night, it's like when you tell an angry woman to calm down. How does that go down?
Not well.
And when you tell somebody to cheer up, that just makes them more mad. And this is a feeling.
Women, right, Dana?
They're terrible.
Oh, man.
Sometimes just smile more, right?
I know, smile.
Like, turn that frown upside down, lady, and then they just get more mad. So I think that you'll hear a little bit of that tomorrow night, that everything's great. Look, we have all the jobs. No, we actually do have all the jobs. People have 2 or 3 jobs. People are coming back from the pandemic. There is a feeling in the country that they just do not feel it. And now what Bill Clinton did at his point in the presidency, remember, he said, I feel your pain. I get it. I hear you. Don't think you're going to hear that tomorrow night because they are talking about how great things are, and they are going to try to draw a contrast immediately. This is not just a State of the Union speech. I think that this will be like the anchor for the 2024 re-election effort. And I wouldn't be surprised if during this unity speech, he decides to say that if you look at the Republicans, they're the ones who want to take away your Social Security. They're the ones who want to take away your Medicare. They're the ones this, that, and the other thing. And it's going to come off pretty badly for some people. Some people might like it. Must be kind of hard to be him, though, right? Because there's stories that the economy had better jobs numbers, but his vice president gets terrible headlines again in the New York Times today.
Yeah. What happened? I missed
it was basically saying that, gosh, no one thinks she's doing a great job. There's only 2 stories for Kamala Harris. It's either she screwed up or that everybody thinks she's about to screw up. Like there's just no other choices. And he's feeling though like he's done all of these great things, and yet most people, a majority of Democrats, don't want Biden to run again. But tomorrow night will be the precursor to his reelection speech.
Why hasn't he been able to emotionally connect with the country? She mentioned Bill Clinton. Biden was always supposed to be the guy that was like feeling your pain, regular Joe. Why can't he say, yeah, this is tough, and acknowledge that?
Well, he did. He won in 2020 because he was the guy that said that, right? He was Empathy Joe, talking about what's going on as COVID is pillaging the country. People are losing their jobs, their loved ones, et cetera. And if we recall the midterms not that long ago, his numbers were also terrible around that. And Democrats had one of the best performances they had since the 1930s for a first-term president. So I'm not at all convinced that if we had the midterms again tomorrow, that we wouldn't have the same results and that people can say, I feel like I'm not better off. I think the economy's in the dumper or whatever. And I prefer the Democrats to the Republicans. I don't know. We don't have an election tomorrow.
Well, we would have known about the classified documents at the Penn Biden Center.
Okay, maybe. And Mike Pence, by the way, is getting a visit from the FBI for his documents. That's new to add to the pile there. It's not about the documents. The frustration that the administration feels in terms of these accomplishments, and there are real accomplishments. You want to talk about China, the CHIPS Act is something that really, if you want to piss off Xi Jinping, take away his semiconductor business. And that's what the Biden administration did. So you have that. You have bipartisan gun reform. That had never happened. We had 5-year-olds slaughtered in Sandy Hook. We couldn't get gun reform. He got that done. You have the infrastructure bill. People are getting hundreds of millions into rural broadband. That will change the lives of people. The investment in HBCUs. Now we have insulin capped at $35 a month.
Are you giving the State of the Union address?
I'm trying. I am trying. Well, do you like it?
It's
Are
better
my
than
ratings
Joe
good?
Biden would do. Judge Janine, how are you going to be watching at the edge of your seat
Child
tomorrow
tax
night?
credits,
I
child
will.
poverty.
You know what? I'm going to time myself and see how long I can last listening to him. First of all, 62% of Americans think that Joe Biden hasn't accomplished very much. So, you can have, Jessica, you can say X, Y, and Z. And I really think the reason that he came through in the midterms that the Democrats did, I think it was all about abortion. Abortion, abortion, abortion. And I don't think it was a testament to how great Joe Biden is. The truth is, 71% of the country thinks we're on the wrong track. People can't afford food anymore. Only 31% of the country thinks the man is competent. They think he's incompetent. And if you don't think this so-called balloon, which is a euphemism for a Chinese spy craft, if you don't think that impacts Americans in a very unusual way, we're not used to them being over our land. This is the homeland. This is America. They're now buying millions of acres near these intercontinental ballistic missile sites so that they can, grow corn and then have an impact on our food supply. It's not what we think it is. I really believe that, Americans recognize inflation isn't transitory, that he surrendered to the Taliban, and that all of the bad stuff, if they can at least bring it out in terms of the fentanyl crisis, the southern border, what's going on in the air and the border, they don't want, as someone said this, they don't want cheap talking points. They want something that reflects who they are as Americans and how they can survive in the next few years. That's all.
All right. And you'll be doing some live commentary tomorrow for the State of the Union.
We'll be there with a group.
Okay.
We'll be here at the table while you're in D.C. Yeah, we're not allowed to travel.
Miss me?
Yeah, I don't know who's
travel
going to be
ban.
sitting there yet. We're thinking about getting some animals from the Columbus Zoo.
That'd be great.
Okay, we got to go.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.